So let's take a look at a property here. This property is an automotive repair shop that we service, and this particular property is a little bit more complicated than some. It's got a couple different work areas, and what I mean by that is areas that are divided by a fence. So I'll start by drawing. His fence runs about like that, with another fence there and another fence there. We do not service in this area. We used to occasionally upon request, but generally speaking, we're focused in this area, or this area, as well as this area. So we're going to label these as 1 and 2. Okay. All right. So generally speaking, the guys, when they pull up, their box truck will be parked in this general area right here. And as they're mowing, if you're a weed eater man, what you'll do is you're going to hop out of that truck and you're going to get right to work in section 1 by working these areas. And then I'm going to show you a little trick here. I actually bounce down instead of bouncing straight over to this point here, which would result in you having to go this way and then back up this way. I find a point and I work my way up. That will allow me to come back to my starting point before continuing on. Does this make sense? I hope so. And I continue on down in front of this building. This little area here does require a little extra weed eating. Working my way around. And then again, this is an area that you'd have to bounce back to. So you'd walk up and then get this area, then come up, work your way around, back down, work your way across, close that area off, work this side of the fence, work on up, and then there's a ditch line that you have to work right here. Requires a little extra weed eating. And that pretty much completes with minor touch and goes along the edges here. That summarizes all of area 1. Once you are done with area 1, I wouldn't go. So I've kind of started and finished in such a way that I can easily proceed into area 2. So that's exactly what I'll do. I will walk and I will work my way into area 2, and I'll start working my way on the fence. Now, while I'm back here, this area of the fence is heavily covered in trees and generally does not need a whole lot of weed eating minus touch and goes. But I'll clear my fence and then I'll start coming back out to these cars. I'm working my way around the cars a certain way, and see if you can figure out why I'm doing this, and I'll go back and explain. But it's a certain direction that I go around each car. Okay. Now what I've done is I've gone around each vehicle, and as I'm going back this way, I'm clearing this area here. But I'm going around this direction. There's a reason why I work around the vehicle this way. My weed eater spins in this kind of a rotation, in a counterclockwise rotation. By going around the vehicle in that manner, I'm slinging my grass away from the vehicle at all times. And then I clear this area and I can repeat. I will do that for every single one of his vehicles. I just went around the wrong way of that vehicle. I'll do that on around every single vehicle. Here, those of you who know this property, there's a fire pit here, and then you also know that these vehicles will be arranged in a completely different manner every single time. But eventually, what I'm doing is I'm working my way over to here, around this side. Again, this area here doesn't require a whole lot of weed eating, minus touch and go, and now, it does. You have to get in there. The mowers can get in there pretty good, though, in this particular instance. And part of this, you won't understand your process and where to venture into and where not to until you understand what the mowers are capable of getting and not getting. And you're not going to know that until you've been on these properties 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. The more time you're on the property, the more you're going to know what you're responsible for. But here there's a wall, and then I'm going to work my way up. I'm going to clear this, clear this, clear this, clear this, clear this, back to my starting point, and I'm done. Now, what I'm going to do is while I'm here, I'm going to inspect this whole area and before I leave. So once I leave, I'm going to walk out, and then I'm going to inspect this whole area. I'm going to continue to inspect everything in area 1 before I walk back to the truck. I don't walk just straight to the truck. I'm going to look off to the left, I'm going to look off to the right, and then I can get in the truck and I'm good to go.